Hello there, good evening. Welcome to Look North. Our top story tonight. Family and friends paid tribute to the 15-year-old boy who died after a stabbing near a school in Leeds yesterday. A 14-year-old remains in custody.
He was a beautiful soul. He was always dancing around.
He was crazy. I never thought he'd ever be Alfie.
We'll hear from a bereavement expert on how you can support your children through a traumatic incident like this. Also tonight, an update on the inquest into 23-year-old Gracie Spink's death. Plus, Kevin Sinfield and Rob Burrow are in the studio chatting about a new book inspired by their special friendship and the latest fundraising challenge. And I'm reaching new heights in my first job swap for children in need.
And once this morning's rain had cleared, it turned out to be a reasonable afternoon. This was Doncaster earlier today. But what about tomorrow and into the weekend? Join me for that detailed forecast.
Hello, good evening. Hundreds of school pupils had to navigate a crime scene on the way to the classroom after a 15-year-old boy was stabbed just before 3 p.m. yesterday. Alfie Lewis is a former student at Horsforth School. He later died in hospital. Police have started a murder investigation. A teenage boy has been arrested. While the community try to come to terms with what has happened, sadly, Alfie's death is not an isolated incident. BBC research suggests that this was the 16th confirmed fatal stabbing in West Yorkshire this year. Alfie's death is one of 6 teenagers included in that total. Olivia Richwald is at the scene for us this evening. Olivia, this is so tragic as a community comes to terms with what's happened.
It's been a very sad day here in Horsforth, Amy, and police have only just reopened this road. It's been closed for more than 24 hours as they carried out their forensic investigations. Also this evening, the family of Alfie Lewis have released a statement paying tribute to their boy. They've described him as one in a million, so funny and an all-round entertainer. He was a former pupil at Horsforth School and he was a popular and well-liked figure in the town. And a crowdfunder which was launched after his death has already raised more than £11,000.
Alfie Lewis described today as one of a kind, lovely, caring and full of fun. This 15-year-old boy was stabbed to death near a school at 3 in the afternoon as pupils walked home. His death has devastated his family and friends.
Alfie was one of a kind, like you could never get another Alfie. He was always that one he'd always light up a room. He'd just be that person that would always be making everyone laugh. And if he were down, you know Alfie, if you saw Alfie, he'd just put a smile on your face. He's just one of them boys, the kindest person ever.
Maisie was best friends with Alfie for 5 years.
All the way through that, he's been my best mate. It's been absolutely lovely, so understanding, so caring, so lovely. It's horrible.
She's pleaded with other young people not to carry knives.
It can ruin so many people's lives, you know, even if it's just in your pocket. It's such a stupid thing to do.
BBC research shows Alfie is the 6th teenager to be stabbed to death in West Yorkshire this year. Several authorities have today admitted not enough is being done.
We're not talking to our young people. None of us is really understanding what's going on in the street. We've undertaken a big piece of research this year with young people. Over 1,000 young people were spoken to in relation to knife crime, and they told us that they're really frightened. But we need to be working together with our partners and with the children that we're here to keep safe, because we're not doing a very good job at the moment.
We have to work together and make sure that we're trying to deliver that message as effectively as possible. Parents obviously have an important role to play in delivering that message, but so does schools and so does government in terms of tackling this. This isn't just one area of society that needs to deal with this. If we want to stop this happening again.
Police forensic investigations have continued in Horsforth all day as detectives try to work out what led up to Alfie's tragic death. Officers searched drains and undergrowth and used a drone, while primary school children played on the other side of the hedge. Pupils at both St Margaret's School and Horsforth High School are being supported as many encounter the aftermath of this crime. The nearby church opened a book of remembrance and a graffiti wall. The vicar says he attended a vigil organised by Alfie's friends.
There was such dignity in the way that they were remembering their friend, and there was a tangible sense of love and support in all the people gathered around there.
And tonight there was another vigil as Alfie's friends gathered to remember a life cut too short in the most violent way.
A 14-year-old boy arrested on suspicion of murder remains in police custody this evening. Police have also urged the public to avoid speculation online as they continue to appeal for information. Finally, before I hand back to you in the studio, Amy, I want to share one more sentiment from the tribute written by Alfie's family. It said, "You had the biggest heart and cared for everybody around you. You will never know how much you were loved by your family and your friends."
So very sad. Olivia, thank you. And of course our thoughts are with Alfie's family and friends. For the school children nearby, understanding and processing what has happened is challenging. Earlier I caught up with Rachel Tegg. She's from Child Bereavement UK to find out how we can best support the young people who have seen this unfold right on their doorstep.
It's a very shocking thing that's happened, whether they were familiar with the person who died or whether they have just heard about what happened in the school community or on the news. It's something that's going to be very scary and very unfamiliar for a lot of children and young people, and a very uncertain time, I'm sure.
So what should parents be doing to support their children? What's the best way of handling this? Is it about having honest conversations?
Very much so, and also wherever possible, providing children and young people with opportunities to talk about what's happened, talk about what they might have seen or heard if they feel they need to. So being able to say to your child, I understand that it must be really difficult from what you've seen or what you've heard. So if you do want to talk through anything about it, if you do have any questions, then feel free to come to me. Or if you don't feel comfortable talking to us, then we can help to find you someone that you would feel comfortable talking to.
What could be the long-term impact after witnessing such a traumatic incident like this?
That's something that's very difficult to say. Everybody responds to a bereavement or a traumatic event in very different ways. But if we can help to provide support early on or provide opportunities for support early on, then what we're doing is we're giving children and young people opportunities to process their thoughts and feelings early on, so that at least moving forwards, they've been given that opportunity to better understand what they might be thinking and feeling in relation to this, and being able to ask any questions that they might have and seek any reassurance that they might need going on from this.
Rachel Tegg, thank you.
Thank you.
Next tonight, the inquest into the death of 23-year-old Gracie Spinks continued today. They heard evidence from a police officer who found a bag of weapons 6 weeks before Michael Sellers killed her. Mark Ansell has more.
Today's evidence at Gracie Spinks' inquest focused on how police dealt with the discovery of a bag of weapons linked to Michael Sellers a month and a half before he stabbed Gracie to death. In May 2021, a member of the public found a rucksack on a farm track near stables where Gracie tended her horse. Now, the bag contained knives, an axe, Viagra tablets, a handwritten note saying "do not lie," and a receipt from Marks & Spencer that belonged to Sellers' father, who he lived with. Now, PC Jill Lee Liggett and a colleague went to the home of the woman who found the knives and the bag and told the inquest today that she thought the contents of the bag was bizarre, but was not seriously concerned they could be linked to a crime. She said she did not consider visiting the farm track where the bag was found, which was 5 minutes away. Now, PC Jill Lee Liggett told the jury at the inquest today, "When I unpacked the bag at the station, my mind went to woodwork, theatrics, props, not murderous intent. Detectives believe Michael Sellers killed his work colleague while she was tending to her horse in Duckmanton 6 weeks after the discovery of that bag of weapons. The inquest continues. Mark Ansell, BBC Look North, Chesterfield.
The Labour MP for Bradford East, Imran Hussain, has quit his job over the party's position on the war in the Middle East. He stepped down from his role as Labour's front bench, but he will remain a Labour MP. He says there must be a ceasefire, something the Labour leader Keir Starmer disagrees with. Our political editor James Vincent is here. James, this is not a great look for the Labour Party, is it?
No, it's not, and it's something that's been simmering along for the last couple of weeks or so, and it's got worse, and it's getting worse for Labour. We heard from Keir Starmer last week on what he thinks should happen in the Middle East. He thinks that there shouldn't be a ceasefire. He thinks that would embolden Hamas. He thinks humanitarian pauses are the way to go to aid in and people out. But there are a number of people on his front bench that disagree with him. 17 of his front benchers, basically the team that would be ministers if Labour were in charge of the government, think that there should be a ceasefire. Keir Starmer said that people wouldn't be punished for their range of views, but that kind of put the ball back into the court of individual politicians, and we wondered whether there would be any resignations. And Imran Hussain, late last night, resigned. He was a shadow minister. He's now not anymore. He obviously remains as an MP, as a Labour MP, as the MP for Bradford East, but he doesn't do that extra bit of work in Westminster for the Labour Party anymore because his views, he says, aren't compatible with his leaders.
So I guess the next question is, are more likely to resign?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question. Now, Imran Hussain himself didn't want to speak to us today. He didn't get back to me, and neither did the other two Bradford Labour MPs when I tried to get hold of them. I think that shows it's a bit of a touchy subject. They don't really want to be answering questions about it. The interesting MP to watch is Naz Shah. She has called for a ceasefire, but she's also a shadow minister, so there could be more resignations on the way, but we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Watch this space, James. Thank you. A former assistant head teacher from Wakefield has pleaded guilty to downloading over 11,000 indecent images and videos. 43-year-old Gareth Meller paid for the child abuse images while working as a safeguarding lead at the unnamed high school. He pleaded guilty to downloading the pictures and is due to be sentenced next month. Now, it's just 4 years since Leeds Rhinos legend Rob Burrow was diagnosed with motor neuron disease. But since then, he and his best friend Kevin Sinfield have raised millions of pounds for MND research and awareness. Kev has undertaken 3 huge endurance events since 2020, all inspired by his love for his friend Rob. And now they've released a children's book together. It's called With You Every Step of the Way, a celebration of friendship. I caught up with Rob, his wife Lindsay and Kevin earlier, and I asked them why they wanted to do the book.
I wanted to do this book with Kevin to highlight the importance of friendship and show that there are many ways to be strong. And I'm hoping the book will appeal to young boys in particular to show that friendships can be based on love and vulnerability. True friends like Kevin are always with their friends even when times are tough. I used to love reading stories to my 3 young children, and I hope that this book will give them an insight into what true friendship is.
Well, your friendship is really clear to see. Kev, you've been friends for such a long time now. How has that grown since Rob's diagnosis?
Yeah, so we spent 15 years playing together and sat next to each other in a dressing room every day, but I think when Rob was diagnosed, it certainly brought us closer. I think you know, when a friend's in that sort of faces that sort of adversity, you don't want them to be on their own, and I think this has been a massive two-way street. The inspiration I've got from Rob, how brave and courageous he's been, I think for everybody connected with MND, but then right across the UK, anybody who knows the story will equally say what an inspiration he's been. So yeah, we've certainly got stronger, and I think the best friendships are forged through tough times.
Rob said that he wants this to appeal to young boys in particular. I read this to my little boy last night and he said, "Mummy, this is like me and my friends, so we must be really good mates." And actually it's about showing that vulnerability, isn't it, with each other, not being afraid to show emotion.
Yeah, I think when we look back, and we spoke about this earlier, when we look back on our time as players at the Rhinos, that team was probably ahead of its time, because we were able to show those vulnerabilities and not necessarily talk about them, but understand that we're all going through similar challenges and similar thoughts and feelings as well at certain times. So there's a strength that comes with that, and also a bond. and now during difficult times, I think it's always come easy for Rob and I to talk about it, but it's great to be able to put it in a book.
And what does Kev's friendship mean to you, Rob?
Kev was my captain and he still is my captain. He always will be. We've played together for years. We sat next to each other in the dressing room. We went through the highs and lows of rugby league. The highs were amazing, but he always looked after us, and here he is now still looking after us all. He doesn't like fuss and he won't like me saying it, but he puts his body on the line every time he steps up to start a challenge. He could give James Bond a run for his money, and he always has a cheeky message for me when I see him. You will see him say a few words in my ear, and those words are normally funny or not repeatable.
And James Bond, eh? Watch this space.
I don't think so.
Lindsay, talking of friendship, which of course is what the book is about, because of these two wonderful men, new friendships have been built, especially in the MND community, haven't they?
Yeah, do you know, it's so lovely to go out and meet so many people, you know, unfortunately, that may be in the same situation as us, but I think just that, you know, the MND group is such a special community, and, you know, to hear their stories and their experiences, and, you know, when we set out on this journey, the whole purpose of this was to raise that awareness for, you know, the postman, the bricklayer, people that didn't have a voice, so to come together and to keep banging that drum and raising that awareness is something really special.
So you're hoping to raise some funds through the book for the MND community, but the fundraising doesn't stop there, does it, Kev? You've got something else crazy up your sleeve. Tell us about it.
I'm not sure it's crazy.
It definitely is.
I think what has been good over the last few years, that the running has become a vehicle for us to raise funds for the MND community, but also to raise awareness. And now what we're seeing are more people going to the GP, asking questions about MND, and also sufferers who were once ashamed of going outside because people didn't understand what MND is and what it did, now living their life, and for us to be able to help support where we can, it's been so important. So yeah, we go again, because ultimately the money is the thing that shifts the dial in trying to find a cure, and we run again. We're going to do 7 marathons in 7 days, but we'll add an extra mile on each day. In 7 different cities, but I'm delighted to say the first one will be here in Leeds, and we'll be running it up to York.
We're pleased to hear it. Lindsay, oh my gosh, you did your first marathon, didn't you, earlier this year? What do you make of that? I have newfound respect for marathon runners.
Absolutely. You know, I think it's just crazy, but I think, you know, it takes such a special, selfless person to do what Kev's doing, and not just for Rob, but the whole MND community, and I think it just gives people so much hope, and I think it inspires. I think it inspired the nation. So many people have gone out and, on the back of what Kevin's done, have done their own 7 in 7 challenges or their own fundraising challenges, and I think that's down to Kevin, and I think the work that he's done, you know, is just, it takes a very special, selfless person to do that.
It certainly does. Kev, you always said you were just running for a mate, so let's give the last word to you, Rob. What do you make of Kev's next challenge?
Another crazy challenge, pal. We thought you would stop after the last one, but here you go again. You know I would do the same for you. I hope to see you off at the start and be there when you finish. You never stop banging the drum for the MND community. Remember, Kev, you aren't getting any younger.
Well, neither is James Bond. Thank you so much for coming in. It's lovely to see you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it's nearly that time of year again. Children in need. Are you planning your own challenge to raise money? If so, we want to hear from you. Here is Pudsey with all the details.
Kill Pudsey. You Know Who is on the way. Each year, your fundraising helps BBC Children in Need change young lives for the better. We'll be sharing some stories on Look North, and if you want to join in the fun this year, the Spot-tacular is on November the 17th. Let us know if you're up to anything by emailing look.north@bbc.co.uk. And who knows, Pudsey might put you in the picture.
The theme of this year's Children in Need fundraiser is Challenge Yourself, so I thought I would do just that. I've spent 10 years sat on this sofa, so the Look North team thought it was time to get me out of my comfort zone and try something different. Over the next week or so, I'll be swapping my high heels for work boots, wellies and waders. In a moment, you'll see how I got on cleaning windows, but first, this is a job swap, so it's over to Paul, the window cleaner, to do my job. Take it away, Paul.
Thank you. Well, I've been cleaning windows in Leeds now for 40 odd years. It's a tiring job, requires stamina and a head for heights. I invited Amy along to do my job in the Leeds City Centre with iClean Sport Services. Let's see how she gets on.
You're too good. When they said I was going to be working as a window cleaner, I was not expecting windows like this. I'm not so sure about this now. Can I just do ground floor? Harness me up. So how tall is this actual building?
It's about 42 metres.
The thing is, if I fall from up there, I can't see this saving me. Paul left the army 40 years ago and has been cleaning windows ever since. He's an adrenaline junkie with a head for heights. And what do you like about your job?
It's just out in the fresh air all the time, meeting new people, you know, chatting away to people, and it's just a great job.
You must have some stories to tell. You must have seen some right sights through those windows.
A lot of the stories that we can't tell on television, unfortunately. I mean, we've had lots of them. We were cleaning a building of 35 floors, and the lady thought we was burgling. Police turned up, thought we were burgling the windows, trying to pinch the telly 35 metres up.
And lots of boobs and bottoms, I'm sure.
Lots of boobs and bottoms, yeah.
I think I've been caught short myself a few times. Enough of the chit-chat, it's time for safety checks and lift-off. Oh, my legs are going. Yeah. You sure I'm safe? Oh, Mark, what are you doing? We're turning! Oh! You've not got butterflies at all.
I mean, look at that. Perks of the job. Look at that beautiful skyline.
Oh, I know, but I can see that from inside. Just have a look down there. Right, that was all very nice. Can we go back down now? We're done. We're over 130 feet in the air, and the work begins.
This is the applicator. It's a lambswool cloth, and this is the squeegee. It's with the rubber edge. So all you do, you cover every blade of glass with the applicator first.
Yeah.
And then go over with the squeegee. Make sure you've got every bit of water off. Keep looking at the window as you're cleaning down, just to make sure you're not leaving any marks.
I don't even clean my own windows, so
okay, well,
I'm not sure the client's going to be that happy after today.
I'll show you how we get on.
This building would usually take 3 men under 2 hours to complete. I managed 3 panes of glass in that time. Where are you going? You're moving. Sparkling they are.
We've got a new window cleaner on the team.
Well, it's quite clear from that what I made of your job, Paul. What did you think of having the cameras follow you for the day?
I really enjoyed it, Amy, to be honest. It was good fun.
And that's quite small compared to some of the buildings that you clean, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a baby. Big building in Liverpool that we do is 103 metres, so we have a 103 metre cherry picker machine that's the biggest in the UK. So we put that in the city centre, and obviously then we need traffic management to send the traffic and the pedestrians safely around the exclusion zone. So we've got the largest working at height and traffic management company and access company in the UK.
It's a lot more than just soap and clean off, isn't it?
It is indeed.
I was doing that movement in my sleep, Paul. My arms were aching this morning. It's quite physically demanding, isn't it?
It is physical. You've got to be quite fit. Yeah, you've got to be quite fit. So next year when we do it again for children in need, you might be okay.
I might be doing the whole building and abseiling as well, because that's something you do,
abseiling as well.
isn't
We
it?
do a lot of abseil, yes. So sometimes you can't get a machine in there, a cherry picker in there. So we've got to deploy rope access technicians.
Sign me up for that one. Now, Paul, everyone wants to know, who has got the hardest job, you or me?
I think you, Amy, to be honest. I think you would much prefer to be out there in the fresh air, cleaning windows and getting on with my life.
This is defo my comfort zone. You're very kind. Paul, thank you. It's the first of a series of children in need job swaps, so watch this space. I think we started with the tame one, Paul.
I think so, yeah. Next time we'll get up there.
Well, I am just one of thousands of people challenging themselves to raise money for children in need. So if you would like to support my efforts by donating to BBC Children in Need, then you can do by donating any amount that you like online at bbc.co.uk/Pudsey. Thank you very much. What do you reckon, Paul? Would you get up there?
I don't like heights. Mind you, at the Yorkshire show, you went up a telegraph pole like a rat up a drain pipe, so you're all right doing that.
I don't like heights, though.
No.
I'm forced into these things, so I have to do them.
But
it was not through choice.
You don't clean your own windows. I'm shocked here.
Do you clean your own windows?
No, right.
What's the worst job that you would dread doing?
I don't like confined spaces, so I couldn't do anything down sewers, or I couldn't be a plumber. I couldn't put my hand down a U-bend if it was blocked, or anything like that.
You never unlocked your own loo?
No. I've got an assistant to do that, of course. Anyway, let's have a look at this this wood, because there was a bit of brightness coming through the wood this morning as that rain cleared out of the way. And the next one's beautiful, actually. It's a very young River Nid there up in Nidderdale. Look how beautiful the trees are, just turning now. Some trees are still in complete green leaf, which is quite unusual for what is the middle of November, but most of the trees are turning. If you're out and about in the next few days, send the pictures in on Twitter or X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, and on the Weather Watcher website. So I think tomorrow we're on to sunshine and scattered showers, as is the case on Friday, but I think most of the showers tomorrow will be in the west, whereas on Friday they'll be concentrated in more coastal areas, courtesy of low pressure. But there's just a little bit of hope that this ridge of high pressure will settle things down for the weekend, when there'll be a good deal of sunshine. Now, there's some uncertainty about Sunday. At the moment, it looks like after a grey, misty start on Sunday morning, this weather front will spoil things and bring rain in on Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. But the timing is uncertain, so stay tuned to your local forecast for that. So at the moment, all of us are fine. There's just 1 or 2 showers across the Pennines, but then we've got a band of showers to push in from the west. 1 or 2 of those showers will be heavy, but I think many places will be dry by dawn, and we'll see lowest temperatures coming in at 4 or 5 degrees Celsius. So tomorrow's high water time, Scarborough in the afternoon at 10 to 2, Bridlington, Bempton Cliffs at 2:15. So it should be a bright start. Most of us dry with some sunshine, but showers getting going across the Pennines fairly quickly. And although the focus will be in the west, as the day progresses, some of these will get right the way towards the coast. But I think as a general rule, most of the showers will be in western areas. The best of the dry, sunny weather will be across eastern areas, especially towards the coast. Now, it's going to feel a little chilly as the wind picks up. 9 in Huddersfield and Leeds is just 48 degrees Fahrenheit. So a little bit further ahead then on Friday, many western areas dry and sunny, the showers focused along the coast. There's a look at Saturday, a dry, sunny and crisp day, but on Sunday, mist and fog giving way. It looks like rain later on Sunday. That's the forecast.
Thank you very much. That was just 1 of 6 job swaps over the next week or so. I'm going to need a good week off after all this, I tell you.
Another one.
You'll have to stay tuned to find out what the next job swap is, but Keely is here with your late news. Bye-bye for now.